Hi guys, it's Erin the Tacky Painter, and today we're going to paint this elephant in cool colors. I've got my 9 by 12 inch canvas sheet, and as for colors, I've got Phthalo Blue, Dioxazine Purple, Phthalo Green, Titanium White, and Cadmium Orange Hue. Remember, you can do this in any colors that you want to. For my brushes, I've got a medium bright, a smaller bright brush, a small liner brush, and a small angle brush, but use any brushes that you have also. And if you enjoy painting this with me, feel free to click the thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And you can also subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified when I add new videos every week. I'll have a traceable here up on my website, which will be in the description below. Now let's get tacky. I've got my watercolor pencils here. I picked a blue one, and I've just sped this up to show you how I drew him in, but feel free to use the traceable. And I picked watercolor pencils because these will blend into the paint as I paint over them. I'm just going back over to make the line darker so you can see. Now I've got my medium bright brush. I'm just taking my Phthalo Blue and I'm just going to paint him in. This will be my underpainting. And we'll do another layer on top of this, so don't worry about it too much. So this is just the Phthalo Blue. I'm not too worried about the direction of my brush strokes just yet, but I've sort of curved them there along his trunk and on his forehead. Feel free to slow down the video if you want to, or pause it. I'm just filling every part in with this blue color, except for his eyes and his tusks. Alright, now I've slowed it back down. I've got my smaller bright brush. I'm dipping it in the water to get it ready and wiping it off. And now I'm mixing up some Phthalo Blue and Phthalo Green because I'm going to make a Phthalo Turquoise. So I'm mixing those two together and getting a little bit of white. So I'm just going to take that color and sort of just streak it on the right side. Because in this painting, I'm going to imply that the light is coming from the right. And I want it to be streaky because I want it to seem like he's got wrinkles on his nose. So I'm just letting it streak across the canvas. Grabbing more of that same color to put it on his other ear. And streaking some more of it just along this right side. I'm letting some of the blue underneath show through. Grabbing more of that color and just putting it all down his trunk. More of that same color and putting it on his leg, again just on the right side. letting it streak, and letting some of the blue underneath show through. Notice the direction of my brush strokes, horizontal and curved just a little bit to imply shape. I'm rinsing out and I'm wiping off. I don't ever let my paintbrushes sit in the water. And I grab just some purple. I know it looks blue, but I've taken the purple and I'm just making a dark spot here on his ear. Grabbing more purple and a little bit of white. Make a sort of medium color. And then just put that one on the top of his ear. This painting is just very loose, very abstract. I'm not getting into too many details. I'm just trying to relax and have fun. More of that same dark purple color right there. Purple, a little bit of white towards the bottom of his ear. I don't want this to be my darkest color, but I want it to be a medium value. And I'm sort of starting at that darkest part in his ear and letting my brush strokes go out from there. I'm not going up and down. Putting a brighter spot here on top of his ear where the light would be hitting. Getting more of my purple and white and just letting it streak. Starting at the dark spot and letting the brush strokes fan out from the dark. Remember just to be loose, let it streak, let some of the color underneath show through. And remember to use any colors that you want to use. You don't have to use these colors. I just like these cool colors. And when I say cool, they're on the cooler side of the color wheel, as opposed to like yellows and reds and oranges. So now I've got my bigger brush and I've taken some blue and white. I'm just going to paint his body. This time I'm implying a rounded body, so I'm doing vertical strokes. Lighter at the top where the light would hit, and then darker as it gets down towards the bottom. Making sure there's a little bit of a shadow underneath his ear. Grabbing more just blue and making sure it's dark there. Mixing some blue and purple and putting that underneath his belly. And more of that blue and purple mixture behind his leg, because there would be a shadow there. So you just have to think about where your light source is, where the light wouldn't hit. got some blue and purple and white to make my medium value. And just using vertical brush strokes. More of the blue, purple, and white. And now coming around on the back of his leg with a darker color. And this time rounding out my brush strokes and making them horizontal on his leg. And more blue and purple and white to make a dark color for the back of his trunk. Now grabbing some purple and white. This isn't going to be my lightest color, but I want it a sort of medium value. Just putting that up there on his head above his eye and under. Because some light would hit here, but it wouldn't be quite as bright as our brightest spot. And as long as you get your values right, you can really use any colors that you want. Alright, I'm rinsing that brush out. And wiping it off. And I've got my small bright that I'm using, and I'm getting some white and back into my phthalo turquoise, which was just a mixture of blue and green. And I'm putting on another layer of even brighter color, just in those spots where the light would be hitting. Remember, I'm making it streaky. I'm letting the layers underneath show through, just implying some wrinkles on his trunk. Curving my brush strokes. And just putting a little bit of brighter color there above his tusks. There would also be some light hitting here on his leg. Remember, if you want to, you can take your time with this. You don't have to feel rushed. I just try to keep these videos shorter. I'm rinsing out and wiping off. I'm back into my medium-sized bright. I'm going to come back with another layer. So I got my purple and white. And just another layer on his ear. Streaking the paint. Letting it fan out there from the darkest spot. Remember, acrylics dry darker, so you want to make sure your paint is a little bit brighter than you would normally have it, because when it dries it is going to be a little bit darker. Grabbing some more of that color, just putting it here on his head as my sort of medium value. And I'm rinsing out. Now I'm getting some of my blue and white, and a little bit of the purple too. And just doing another layer on the back here. A little bit lighter, but it's still in shadow, so it can't be bright. just wherever else, on the back of his leg. Grabbing more of that same color. Just making sure I've covered up all the white of the canvas that I want to. Remember, if you try this, find me on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, tag me. I really want to see your versions of this. Coming back with my darker color, blue and purple. Just making sure that my darks are dark, my lights are light. A little bit of shadow right there. Rinsing out. Now I'm going to paint in with my angle brush. So I've got it wet to get it ready. And I'm going to grab some of my blue-purple mixture, but add a lot of white this time. And just paint in his tusks. Now it's okay that the paint underneath wasn't dry because I want some part of the tusk to be in shadow and some of it to be lighter. So I'm going to come back with a brighter color after this part's dried. And rinse out my brush. And wipe it off. Now I'm getting into just my blue because I'm going to paint in his eye. Too much paint on there. Wipe some of it off. I didn't want to use black in this painting, mostly because I didn't want to get another color out. But you could use black for the eye if you want to. I'm going to let that dry and put another layer on top of it so it's darker. Now I've sped this part up, I'm just using my medium bright brush to paint the background in orange. And I used orange because blue and orange are complements, which means they're opposite each other on the color wheel, so they sort of go well together. Your eye likes when they're next to each other. So I'm just painting in the background orange. You could use any colors you like. And you can pause this or slow it down. You don't have to keep up with me. I just sped it up so I wouldn't have to talk as much. Alright, I've got my small liner brush. And I'm getting some white and purple. Mostly white. Making a lighter color. To paint in a highlight here above his eye, where the light would be hitting. Taking some of that same light purple color and adding my highlight on his tusks. rinsing out. And I decided to come back and put a reflective highlight on his eye, because I thought he just needed that. It made him look more alive, I thought. So I'm grabbing that same small brush again. I've got a little bit of white, and I'm just making 2 little dots there. And putting another bright highlight on his tusk. So just taking my white and adding another highlight there. And I'm sorry if in this video I sounded a little stuffy or raspy. The allergies this year are really getting to me. So I apologize for that. Taking my smaller bright brush again. Making my phthalo turquoise. And adding white to it. And again, it dried darker, so I'm just adding back another brighter highlight there. Sometimes you have to let your painting dry and look at it, and then come back and add what you need to. Just making sure it's bright enough up there. And I'm going to rinse out my brush. And I think I'm done, so I just want to remind you that there's always something to look forward to, and I look forward to painting with you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.